We are going to declutter in this house using my new boost method. First thing you need some water and you need some AirPods. The person that this is for is who is really struggling doing the decluttering day to day. Even if you don't, you still might like to do a boost every now and then. So what I'm doing here is I have got 3 bags ready. Typically I will do 4, but today I am doing 3. One for recycling / garbage, one for donating / selling, and one for bringing things home. Now, the thing about the boost method is what we're doing is we are committed to declutter one area in about an hour. And actually, after that one area, we will move on, which is exactly what I did today. Now, I have sped this up just a tiny bit because I don't want you to have to sit there and watch me slowly declutter for a full hour. But if you want, you can slow it down. Otherwise, you could maybe just watch it twice. But I suggest that you declutter with me. I also am sorry if you get too many shots of my bum bending over. I apologize. The thing a lot of people complain about or tell me is that stands in their way is that they forget to consistently declutter every day. Often when I am telling people how to start decluttering, when they're just getting started, I suggest that they work for about 20 to 30 minutes every day. I don't like people to do a huge marathon declutter, like going and decluttering for like 3 or 4 hours and making a big deal of it, because that is just so much for just about anybody to do. And then you will maybe have a bad taste in your mouth and you're not going to feel like decluttering for a very long time. And that is where a lot of us can get stuck. So instead, what you can do is just do the boost method. So maybe you will say, I'm going to spend 1 hour on Saturday and 1 hour on Sunday, and I'm going to work at decluttering my house. So in this case, I'm working on the hall closet first, and I'm pulling out all of the jackets and realizing in some cases that some of them are like way too small. Some of them aren't still working for our family. I didn't even realize how many pairs of shoes we had in here because we did declutter our whole house a while ago. It wasn't like we necessarily had like a major amount of things to declutter, but everybody's house needs to be decluttered periodically. That is one thing for certain. We are always bringing things in. We have 3 teen boys. My husband and I, we still buy things, and I am very, very careful with what I buy, but I also one of the things I do like to do is like anytime I buy something is like look at what can be removed. I always say I absolutely adore my cookbooks. I am such a cookbook fiend, but if I don't declutter something, I'm going to have a massive collection. I just found cinnamon in my pocket because I use it on my seedlings. And let's be honest, sometimes you buy a cookbook and it's a bit of a dud, or there's only like 1 or 2 recipes. So what I'll do is I will like snap a picture of that recipe, keep it in an album on my phone, and declutter it. One thing I hear questions about all the time is that people really, really struggle with motivation. Like they're really bothered by the state of their house, or they feel like they're just bogged down by a lot of it. And one of the things that I think is the most helpful, there are 3 that really work for me. So number 1, it's like, say I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm like tired or I'm just not into it, is I will just think, okay, what space am I going to declutter? Like I'll just start there. Like where am I going to start? So for example, I was like, the whole closet would be a good place to start because first of all, I haven't done it for a long time. It is like messy and I'm not loving it. And then I thought, okay, how would it look after? What do I want to see after I am done decluttering in that? And I just imagined, it much more tidy with more tidy jackets and everything. And then I thought, okay, so what would my first step be? And so my first step, except for the fact that I was recording this, so there were many other first steps, but it would be to like get up and just like get started. Now, I will be honest, I am not finished with this because nobody from my family was there. I needed a drink of water. And now it's time to go upstairs in a minute here. But I also realized that I can't declutter things for other people. Look at all that mess there. Actually, it's funny because I did declutter one of my son's pairs of shoes, and sure enough, I got in trouble. And I thought, your shoes don't even fit anymore. And he was like, nope, they really do. So there you go. But I am very happy that I got so many things decluttered thus far down there. And so now it is time to get started in this bathroom, because our master bathroom, although not as messy as the closet, definitely needed it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Because we found so many things in the closet, and I just want to keep this going. I don't want to deal with the stuff. We are actually just going to get started in here and just make piles.
The reason I am saying piles are fine is because I had my 3 bags to use to do things, but it literally was overflowing, as you could see. So instead, what I just decided was I was just going to make piles on the floor here, because I knew it wasn't as bad as a lot of the rest. And as you can see, like, I'm pulling out things because I do have some hair products, not that much, like compared to like some of my family members who like never go through stuff. I'm like, no, I straight up keep them. But as you will see with curly hair, there is a bit of complexity to doing it. It frizzes very easily. And if the weather is at all humid, it will. And living on Vancouver Island, it gets very humid here in the winter. Meanwhile, in other places, like if I visit my family in Alberta, my hair looks great because it is so dry there. My hair looks great, but my face, it just looks like the crypt keeper. And so I'm going through stuff there. And that right there that I threw down, that little soap, it is a soap that I have had for like 17 years from like one of our first Christmases. And I love the smell so much. And it really is one of those things that takes me back in time and really takes me back with a certain feeling. So I haven't yet decluttered it, but I am considering it because I can't really use it as soap, but it is very small. It takes up very little space. I have very little items like that. And the smell just takes me back in time. Do you have things like that? Like where you're like, and I mean, I'm not perfect, right? I am not that minimalist that gets rid of absolutely everything. This thing has a certain smell. And so I really did decide to keep it.
Believe it or not, there is no minimalist way for me to do my hair. I literally need this spray thing of water, Nutriplenish leave-in conditioner. People ask me all the time. So this leave-in conditioner, it helps it when it's being blow dried. Then I use this amazing Verb Curl foaming gel. And then I use a little bit of Headstrong gel after to set it. So those are the 4 that I use. And that's just the way it has to be, unfortunately. However, in the summer, because humidity is different, I have had good luck with this curl definer, so I will try it this summer, but if I don't like it, I will declutter it. And I have an extra one of the Verb things because I do not, it was really hard to get. It was out of stock, so I needed it. This I use to scrub the shower floor. So I have a couple of cleaning supplies in here. You may have noticed I have this cleaner, and I think that makes it really handy, especially when, and I've also got like paper towel, and I have Christmas soap, and I just tuck it in the back because there's so much room for us in our bathrooms because we just don't keep them that full. This actually I'm going to declutter. I'm not going to throw it away, but I'm going to put it in the garbage can because it's a witch hazel. I bought it to do bath bombs, but just never happened. This is empty. I will recycle it. This I don't use anymore. It's gonna go. This is empty. This I don't use anymore. I'm gonna give it to my son. So basically everything is going in this garbage can, and then I'm gonna bring it around. This my husband uses on his beard.
Now, one of the things about the boost method is you can actually use any questions or other methods that you like to do when you are decluttering. When I recently did a video talking about sort of like my top 5-ish favorite decluttering methods, one of the things I discussed was Swedish death cleaning. And I am a really big Swedish death cleaning fan because I feel like it just gets to the heart of the issue. Number one, what are you leaving behind? Are you living intentionally? Are you living with more than you want to? And are you going to be leaving things to your family to deal with? Because I have discussed this, that in my own family, my dad, he passed away, and it was my first experience of dealing with the things that a loved one leaves behind. And I'm not throwing any shade on my dad at all. I mean, honestly, the amount of things was nothing compared to what a lot of people leave. And my brother and I, we went through every box, decided what we wanted to keep. My brother knew a few things that some other family members wanted to keep. He grabbed them. I don't think I grabbed anything. But what we did is took what was important, but the rest of it got donated. And so that's another thing people could consider, that their family member may end up donating a lot of the things or perhaps selling them. But for us, it was just easier to donate. We knew it would go to a good cause ultimately. But it's a good thing that there was a minimalist going through it. And my brother, was sort of similar in that he didn't want to go through a lot of things as well. But some people, say your kids or your descendants, might be very sentimental people, or maybe the type of people that really struggle. And then that is kind of a burden that is put on them. And so when you are doing your decluttering, like I am here, I mean, this is honestly just like my toiletries and stuff, but just anywhere in your house, you can just say like, do I want people to go through this things? And actually I did a video recently about Swedish death cleaning and the odd things sometimes people can find after their family members pass away. And so just remember, there's that too. So take care of anything you don't want people to find. Other than that, I think that Swedish death cleaning is just wonderful, because the other thing is, not only are you thinking about the family members, but you're also considering what kind of an environment you are living with. I think it is so important that we are living in an environment that supports our mental health, our well-being, just our happiness overall. For me, I do not in any way want to be encumbered by the things around me. I don't want to see piles and feel stressed. Like actually right now, as I'm talking to you, there are some papers here I need to deal with. And for some reason, there is a lint roller. I don't know why it's even in here, but if this desk was clean, I would be less bothered. That is for darn sure. And I have even been criticized by people in the past saying that I am a clutter phobe. And honestly, it's just that my own personal feelings, I am bothered by clutter. I'll be honest. Sitting on my knees was getting so sore. Babies actually don't have kneecaps until they're, I think, a year old or something, which makes a lot of sense because they spend so much time on the floor. Well, us adults are just not really designed for that. But I did find little knee pads here and there that I was leaning on. This drawer here is where we keep my husband's razor that he uses to shave his head and his beard, and of course, like my blow dryer. And over here is a drawer where I keep some extra things. And so I needed to dive in here. Now, one of the other types of cleaning methods that people talk about a lot is Marie Kondo. And her method is very valuable in a lot of ways. Not always, though. So, for example, in this case where I am going through new toiletries, almost like what you could call like a Costco stockpile, although most of these things, some, but not all, I got at Costco. And really what you want to do is make sure that you are you can't say, oh, this sparks joy, that sparks joy when you're looking at things, like I came across a lot of samples for things like Beauty Counter and other things and recognized like, no, I have not tried them. I have such fickle skin and such fickle hair. I need to be very careful when I try a lot of different things. And so, yeah, I just was like, I'm going through these. But in that, as an example, spark joy is not something that I can really use to make decisions about what I'm doing in here. Although it does have good applications, which I will get to in a second.
This is the drawer where I keep the extra things. So the extra toothpaste. Okay, there we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these extra toothbrushes out of here and just put them in here. We don't need this big bulky thing. Okay. Not every space needs to be empty. I mean, I don't like running out of toiletries. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay, so now we are going to move to the kids. We're going to the kids' bathroom. And you know what? I'm getting hot. I'm gonna take off this sweater, abandon it in here before we go. Okay, first I'm throwing all the clothes in a pile.
Now, my kids' bathroom is like every other teen bathroom probably in the whole entire world. And it's funny because growing up, my family, we shared a main bathroom, but I had sort of like a funny little half bath down in the basement that had like a toilet and a sink. So that is where I would put on my makeup, and that area probably got a little bit messy. This bathroom, as you can see, it has the tooth supplies. There are little flossers everywhere. Basically what I'm explaining there is that there are several toothbrushes. I don't know what's new, what's not new. And the thing with teenagers is you don't want to necessarily harp on them too much. They need to learn, to keep a space clean within limits and also with respecting each other. So really what I'm doing is just tidying up the drawers. I'm looking in the cupboards. There's hardly anything under there. Actually, I can see now watching this that there isn't a shampoo, and that can go in the closet behind, which you are going to see in just a second. But the great thing about our house is we have a lot of very open space, as you can see. This is another funny little linen closet that we have on this level. There's a closet out in the hallway, and then there's this gigantic one as well, where we keep towels for the most part. And there are extra toiletries for the kids there. And that is where I'm going to put like that extra conditioner that I am getting rid of before, or that I talked about before as well. That towel that you just saw me folding, that is what I use because we foster kittens. And with the kittens, they go through a lot of things. So that is one of the things where we keep those extra supplies. I don't like to keep anything gross though. Now look at this abomination. Look at this shower. Do you see all of those toiletries there? Because it gets really crazy in a second here.
Okay. Everything has just a little bit. I'm like, whatever. This is the kids' bathroom. They can figure it out.
And when I say just a little bit, I mean probably 20 to 25%, which is hilarious. So they pretty much are just like, well, that's not full, so I'm not going to deal with it. Here I am now in our main bathroom.
My knees. When does it happen that your knees get easily injured? Ugh, okay, this is how much time is left.
So I couldn't actually find the recording that I made with my phone here, but I will just tell you, it's messy.
And I don't even know how that happened. But if you look, first we have toilet paper. That's not where that goes.
The slipping mic and muffled sound is resolved quickly, I promise.
We don't need hand sanitizer in this house. Lysol.
Christmas soap. This is empty. This is the cat food because we foster kittens. So let me...
I keep this down here so my son can do his hair before school.
My husband is a shift worker, and I just like to do my son's hair downstairs instead of up in our bathroom, although he's kind of to the point where he doesn't even really need help anymore, but I just have their hair stuff down there. I also keep like my makeup in there for YouTube and stuff. It's just sort of more convenient.
I have so many things of soap containers for various seasons, and I think that if I'm committed to it, and I'm not sure that I am. If I think that I am, then what I will do is, I gotta think about that. So this is here's the thing about the soap. I love, 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 love seasonal soaps. And I know you might be like, okay, well, that's a little weird. The reason why I love seasonal soaps so much. It's like I smell that and I'm like, it's fall. And when it is fall, I want to be like transported to a happy place of loving that it is fall. So I am going to keep, like I've got those, that's for fall, and then I have Christmas. Here's Christmas. And then this is the one that I use in the non-Christmas. I know it might seem a little crazy, but as long as, you know, it's something you use, it's something you enjoy. Like, it is something that gets me through the dark days of Christmas. Like, this soap in particular is the one I have up there right now. And I used it in the winter as well. And what I'm gonna do, these ones are so good. They are, and I will link this below, they are Mrs. Meyer's Peony. And so I'm actually going to put that out right now because it is so good. And I'm actually gonna get both of them out because one can be for the kitchen and one is for this room. And this is for my soap dispensers. I don't need those lids. Just because something comes with something doesn't mean you have to keep it. And then this is to refill these soaps upstairs like I use that other thing. This is just a different style, so that's fine. So that's just like the extra soaps. Yeah. Okay, and then Christmas soap can go right at the back. Do I have any other Christmas soap? Nope. And then the hair stuff right there. Cat food for when we have more kittens, which won't be long because it is kitten season. So there we go. Toilet paper goes in here. And if you're one of those people who's like, I am so not needing fancy soaps and whatever, I think that's fine. But for me, I'm gonna try kneeling on this. I just enjoy that little bit of extra. Oh boy, this is a very messy drawer. Look at that. That is a bunch of stuff for kittens again. These are kitten toys. That's in a bag. I got that from a different person. Okay. We're just gonna put all the kitten stuff in here. This is for handling kittens when they're just like little demons, because sometimes they come in as little demons and then they leave as not little demons. They can't leave until they're not demons. It's a prerequisite to being graduating. These toothbrush, you may be like, okay, for guests? No, this is actually, if you rub this on a kitten, except for that one's used, they will love it. They feel like they're being licked by their mother. It is so cute.
This drawer is actually where I keep
the makeup that I use. That is good. Okay, 10 minutes left. So we are going to do one more quick spot and then we're going to divide up all of the stuff, because in this boost power hour. We're definitely not going to overdo it because we don't want to have negative associations with this process. So let's go. Okay, so funny enough, I completely forgot about this part of the closet before I went upstairs. So good news is that we are here full circle. There, that's better. Okay, this is a lunch bag for my husband. Here's a hat.
Well, back to Marie Kondo and when it is very useful to use it. Now, pretty much everywhere that I'm decluttering today doesn't have a lot of sentimental things. A few, because as our kids grow, you know, we say, well, this doesn't fit them, that doesn't fit them. I remember when it was big, blah, blah, blah. You know, I might sound cold when I say that, but that's just the reality of life, is that our kids grow. So the best time, I think, to use Marie Kondo stuff is when we're dealing with sentimental things. Now, sentimental things are something we should not be decluttering until we are very, very good at decluttering. We have built up that decluttering muscle, and basically doing things like I'm doing today is how you build up that muscle. You're honest with yourself about whether or not you should keep things. Here I'm saying, okay, like these are snow pants or cold pants for both my husband and I. We will actually not outgrow those, well, at least not lengthwise. And so I can be honest about that. Just going through even like the mittens and things like that, some of them were too small. And I thought, okay, like this is a little bit sad. But when you're going through your sentimental things, once you've got those muscles working, you can say to yourself, okay, does this actually spark joy? Am I remembering things properly? If I pick it up, am I going to say, yes, like I remember this as an absolutely amazing time? Like that soap I talked about earlier, literally that soap, funny enough, the memory it gives me sparks joy. And I will, you know what I'm going to do is actually write it down and see if I can get that same feeling to come up without keeping that thing, because really, I don't like to keep things that don't really serve me. So you need to make sure when you're doing Marie Kondo's thing that is it sparking joy? And is it, yes, it may give you a memory, but is it a happy memory? Is it a happy time? Because just because something gives you a memory does not mean that it is valuable or sparking joy in a good way. So that is actually when I do like Marie Kondo's method.
Okay, we're now going to put all of this stuff where it belongs, because I decluttered way more than I thought I would. I didn't think I would declutter anything. So let's go to the garage.
Another very important part of doing the boost method, or really any decluttering if you can, but in particular the boost method, is that at the end of the day, you are going out and you are dealing with the things that you had to. You are putting things in the garbage. You are putting things in the recycling. You are putting things in the donation bin, and ideally taking it to the actual donation center or wherever the day that you are actually doing it, because really we don't want to have all of these things sticking around for a long time. And I will be honest, like I am guilty of doing a bit of decluttering here or there and then letting it sit in a box in the garage for a couple of weeks, which I don't like. So now what I like to do is just go through things quickly, put them in the car right away and get it there. And the other thing is, some people will leave it in the car. Don't do that either. Just get it to the place where it needs to go and put your things in the garbage. You will be so happy that you are done. And that is the benefit of the boost method, because when we are doing the boost method, ideally it's just, once or twice a week until you've actually reached your end goal of getting all of that decluttering done that you want to get done.
But one of the main struggles people have is actually knowing how to declutter when you're going through those major or big decluttering phases. Click this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.